This video will describe the complex concept insertion rules. They're located up here. There are three groups. Complex object insertion rules. Object is a semantic name for nouns. So the rules in this group insert semantically complex nouns. And here are the rules that we have so far. We'll be adding more as we go. Complex event insertion rules. Event is the semantic name for verbs. So these are the semantically complex events or verbs that we have so far. And then one more. Complex object attribute insertion rules. Object attribute is a semantic name for adjectives. Here are the semantically complex adjectives that we have so far. So here are those rules that we write for you. You can either activate them or deactivate them, and you do that down here. But before we do that, right now we're at Ruth 323, and right now all of the semantically complex concepts are deactivated. That's how your project is at the beginning. All of the complex concepts are deactivated. And right now this verse generates, tonight Boaz will be separating the chaff from the grain at the place where people separate grain from plants. And if you look up here, this drop-down contains all of the semantically complex concepts that are available for this particular verse. So we have winnow and threshing floor, etc. Let's say your language has a good lexical equivalent for barley and stalk. So let's activate just those two complex concepts. We come here, and this is barley, sense A, and stalk. So when we activate those by turning them on, for our current audience, right now we're in audience number 1. Now when we generate the verse, we see barley and stalk, by the way. Boaz will be separating the chaff from the barley at the place where people separate grain from stalks. Let's say, okay, there's still these three concepts available. You can see how we've defined these concepts. If you look over here for the verbs, for example, to winnow, X represents someone. Someone separates the chaff from the grain. And to thresh, someone separates the grain from the plants or the stalks. Let's go ahead and activate all three of these: threshing floor, thresh, and winnow. Threshing floor is a noun, right there. Let's go to the verbs. We'll activate thresh and winnow. So we now see these complex concepts in our verse already. Tonight, Boaz will be winnowing the barley at the threshing floor. And now there are no more complex concepts available. So at the beginning of your project, all of your complex concepts will be deactivated. One approach is to activate the complex concepts one by one. As you see them being available in a verse that you're working on, you can activate them. Or, if you prefer, you can come here and activate all of them all at once, just by clicking up here. To activate all of the verbs, you click right there. And again, this is audience by audience. Activate all of the adjectives, click right there. So either way, whichever you prefer, activating them one by one or activating them all at once. And then, if you activate them all at once, then as you're working through a verse, if your language doesn't have a good lexical equivalent, then you can come here and deactivate a particular concept.